Hello, welcome to another episode of the Fisher Fitness Coaching Podcast. This is episode 71, I think, or is it 72? It's either 71 or 72. It doesn't really matter, does it? Let's be honest. But yeah, I hope you're good. Thank you for listening. Again, it's been a while. I've definitely lost that consistency of posting one or doing one a week. But, things get in the way. But yeah, here I am again. So this one, I'm going to chat all about my 4-month transformation or 4-month prep. So I'm sure if you have been following me on Instagram, you've been up to date with what I've been doing, what I've been training for, and what I've been sort of working towards. It was a fitness photo shoot in Nottingham with Chris Bailey, who, if you don't know, get to know. Like, go on his Instagram, check him out. He photographs like the most well-known fitness people out there, like physiques, bodybuilders. He goes to all these amazing bodybuilding shows. He's like the best of the best, basically. So it was like such a good opportunity for me to agree to it and I guess tick it off the list, I suppose. I think being a coach who wants to help guys and girls get into amazing shape, it was something I sort of had to do, really, just to, like I said, just to tick it off the list, just to get it done, just so I could put myself through. I was going to say ordeal. It's not that bad, but put myself through the journey, and get some amazing shots from it, some amazing photos from it, and honestly, I can't wait for them to be released and sent back to me, because I think most of them I'm so happy with. They look amazing. And that's even before the editing. Obviously, there is some editing just to make them spot on, but there's only so much editing. You can't you can't edit someone a brand new lean physique. So the editing process is just to make it look 10 out of 10 essentially. Go from a 9 out of 10 to a 10 out of 10. That's what I think anyway. But anyway, yeah, I'm really looking forward to the pictures. Really happy with how most of them turned out, I think. I saw most of them on like his big monitor that he basically looks at after the pictures are taken. And yeah, they look good. And what I have shown on Instagram, I've had some amazing feedback and comments, which is really cool. So yeah, I appreciate everything, all the nice, kind words that you've been saying and giving me. It really helps. So yeah, that was last week, and the whole weekend. Not weekend. It was a couple of days. It was Wednesday and Thursday, but that was great. The whole trip was amazing. Massively sort of undid my expectations, I suppose. Everyone was really cool. Everyone was super nice. You regularly get, like, in this industry, you do get, I'm afraid, a lot of bell ends. And that was my main fear of being in a group with people who don't really get on with. But literally no one was a twat. Everyone was really, really cool, super kind, down to earth, just genuine person. Like we're all very similar. We're there to not show off. We're there just to sort of push ourselves out of our comfort zone. We were there to be better as coaches, get some more credibility, just test ourselves, I suppose. And yeah, it was amazing. It was really, really cool. We've all got a WhatsApp group, so we sometimes stay in touch on there. But it's nice. It was good. The first day we had, so I got there on the Tuesday, had a spray tan, which was a bit uncomfortable, but had to be done. The tan looked great, so that was cool. And then the next day, we had a full day of shooting, and we got about 10 or so pictures done each, and then a nice group picture at the end. And then it was, yeah, after we had our shoot, we just, so a guy there who was having his photo shoot as well, his partner made loads of cakes for us all. So she brought in loads of cakes, and we spent literally maybe about 2 hours after the shoot just eating cakes. And we went next door to the cafe and had a load of food. And then it was time to go out in the evening. We all went to some nice restaurant in Nottingham, had the most amazing burger, loaded fries, cocktails, drinks, played some beer pong, more drinks after that. So it was a really like proper day out, night out celebration to celebrate all our hard work and commitment, consistency, sacrifice, I suppose, over the last 4 months since the 1st of January. That's been going on a long time. So it was much needed, and it was great fun. It was really cool. And then the next day we had a day of like learning, education. We went to some conference room. Paul hired out for us, and he took us through a whole day of content stuff, what to do post shoot, which is really important. Going through the nutritional part of things after a long diet, and how not to basically fuck it all up and put everything back on and more. So that was really good. Went through some biomechanics stuff, anatomy stuff, content, online coaching, load of stuff. But it was quite tough because we were all pretty hungover and really, really full, because that day was basically just more cake as well. Cake and caffeine, that's the day. Cake, caffeine, and coaching. But anyway, really, really cool few days. Can't wait to see the pictures. And if you do follow me, you'll see them on Instagram as soon as I get them. If you don't follow me, then follow me and you'll see them. So anyway, that's enough of an intro. I'm going to go through basically how I did it, how I lost 11 kilos, which was a shitload for me, in 4 months, and got shredded, got into best shape of my life, a photo shoot ready. Yeah, and like, because I remember my coach saying to me beforehand, he's like, I reckon you'll have to lose about 10 kilos. And I was like, what? No way. I'm not going to, like, I'll have nothing left, maybe 5 kilos most. But, you know, as I've learned, us guys have a lot more body fat than we think to lose. So if you're someone listening to this thing, I want to get lean, I want to get like visible abs lean, I'll lose a few kilos, double it, triple it maybe, and that's when you'll get lean enough. Honestly, you'll lose a lot more. You have to lose a lot more than you think to get in the condition you want. And as I know now, just by all the comments and messages and people I've been talking to over the last few months, most guys want to get into great shape. But not everyone will say it. Not everyone will admit it. But most guys, 90% of the guys out there in my age, would love to get ripped, would love to have visible abs, and like a defined physique. And there's no shame in wanting that. Like, it's completely normal. It's completely natural as guys to want to look and feel like that. I'd highly recommend it. It's changed so much. Like, I feel a lot better about myself. I love looking in the mirror, shamefully, or unshamefully, should I say. There shouldn't be a shame in wanting to look at yourself in the mirror and appreciate what you've done, what you've built, I suppose. But yeah, my confidence about myself is increased. I'm comfortable with taking my top off in public, and I have done, like in public saunas. Obviously, being in a photo shoot studio with loads of random people, I took my top off with ease. In front of girls, you know, which has been quite challenging for me in the past. But yeah, not since I've lost this 11 kilos. So I'd highly recommend it. Honestly, it changes your whole outlook on yourself. You have more confidence, less insecure about certain things. And it'll probably improve your sex life as well. So yeah, just a few reasons why I think you should. You got, why not? Nothing to lose, everything to gain. So yeah, anyway, so yeah, I'm going to go through how I did it. Basically, I'm going to go through everything, how I did it without any sort of strict diet plans, no magic fat burning pill bollocks. Nothing like that. I still enjoyed myself. I still had a life. It was fairly boring in terms of what I ate, but that's just what worked for me. And that's how I found it pretty easy, to be honest. It was just a consistent plan that worked for me. And the plan, it wasn't like a meal plan. I don't mean that. I mean a plan that I worked out in my head. I had my calories from my coach. I knew what I had to try and hit roughly per day. And then I basically just built meals around those calories which fitted into my day and which worked for me and what I enjoyed. Because honestly, once you do all that, once you find all that out, once you work it all out, once you know what meals you enjoy and what you don't mind eating a lot of, if those meals fit in your day, fit in your lifestyle, and fit around your calories and your macros, then you just have to honestly just stick to it, because it makes fat loss so much easier instead of just changing your meals every single day. Like, there's no point. There's no point in changing what you're eating every single day. You don't need to. That's just being like, yeah, I just don't understand why people feel the need to change their meals every day. The fact that you are lucky enough to be able to eat every day, that was enough for me to be like, stop moaning, Rich. Like, don't moan if you're eating the same foods. You're eating foods. You are choosing to do this. You have got food on your plate right now. A lot of people don't have that. And so that mindset made me sort of change things, in my head. I was like, okay, yeah, I've got food. I can afford food. I know it's a bit deep, but it worked. It makes you realize that, you're just being fussy. So yeah, I mean, so I'll go through sort of basically why I did the shoot. It was essentially just for a personal goal to really test myself, to get out of my comfort zone. It's something I haven't done before, and it's something I never really thought of before. But to have a personal goal, big personal goal like this, it's just nice to have focus. It helped me focus on the outcome. It gave me clarity. Yeah, and it just helped me with my training, and it helped me obviously get into an amazing shape. I wasn't really happy with how I looked before, even though I wasn't in bad shape. I was in better shape than most people, but for me, I just wanted to be better. I wanted to look better, and it's done that. It was business credibility as well. I feel like I had some credibility because I know a fair bit, and I've got a fair bit of knowledge. But I think walking the walk is vital when it comes to helping people get into great shape. You need to be put through it yourself. I wanted to be put through it so I could learn from it, learn from the journey, experience it, so I can then put my experience across to my clients who are doing the same thing. I think it's just a bit, I don't know, if you're trying to help people lose body fat, build muscle, get into awesome shape, get leaner, and you're not doing it yourself, I feel a bit like, well, I don't want my clients to be like, well, hang on, why aren't you doing it? Like, you should be putting yourself through it as well, right? And that not all the time. I don't mean all the time, but at least go on the journey yourself, gain the experience, and then you could pass on your experiences and tips to us. Then that'll help us focus. It'll inspire us to then get into better shape. And it has done. The amount of times my clients have said it's so inspirational. The fact you're walking the walk, it helps me improve my, increase my motivation. It helps me with my goal. So it's not only helped me, it's helped my clients too. And that's exactly why I did it, to, increase credibility within the industry, essentially. And it has definitely worked. The amount of engagement I've been getting, messages from people saying they love the videos, the journey, congratulating me. It's been amazing. So if you have been one of those people, so if you have been kind enough to message me, then thank you. And like I said, like walking the walk, I think it's really important to do that. It just shows that you have that experience, and you want to put yourself through the challenge of getting lean, getting shredded. Yeah, essentially that's why. And, it was hard. It was difficult. And no, I didn't enjoy every second. I think anyone who says they enjoy every second of a diet or a cut is lying. But it was definitely worth it. Absolutely worth it. And I probably will do it again. And I have done it before. I've been on cuts before, been on fat loss phases before, but nothing to this extreme in terms of how much I lost. Before this time last year, I went to my mate's wedding in Cyprus and I lost I think about 7 kilos. So yeah, I got fairly lean. I got to about 77 kilos. This time I got down to about 71 and a half at my lowest. So a good few kilos leaner. So yeah, that's it. So basically, like I just said, it was just to try and get as lean as possible to look like an online coach. That was the reason I gave my coach was I wanted to look like an online coach. I wanted to look like a credible online coach who knows what he's doing. He's walked the walk. He's got the pictures. And so people can look back and be like, yeah, sweet God, he got himself into awesome shape. He obviously knows how to get there. So if I want to get there, then I know for a fact I've got proof that he's done it, and he can tell me what he did and how he did it to get there, to help me get there. I wanted to look shredded in a professional photo at the age of 38, nearly 39. So again, it was just a big goal of mine. And that goal gave me some clarity, I suppose, a real focus to achieve it. And I did achieve it. I think I was really happy with how I looked on the day. I hope you didn't hear that, by the way, that bleeping thing. There was a calendar coming up on my pooter. What was I talking about? Oh yeah. So what I'll do now is I'm not going to stop waffling. I'm going to go through what I did, how I did it, how I found it quite easy, and yeah, and then hopefully this will help you. So the calories I was given were about 1,800 per day. That's not exact. That was about 1,860 something. But anyway, I hit around 1,800 calories per day on average for 4 months. And my maintenance is around 2,500. So that's 700 calories into a deficit. So quite a big deficit, which would lead to faster fat loss. So that was the most important thing I did. It's just keeping that consistency. Building a meal plan, not something to follow, but in my head, building a meal plan, and on my tracking app, which would total around 1,800 calories, right? 160 grams of protein, carbs about 200 grams of carbs, about 50-ish grams of fat. Again, I wasn't too fussed about that. It was just total protein and calories I was most worried about. As you should be too, because that's the most important thing. I pre-planned my food before the day. So I spent the day about 5 minutes on my tracking app. I use Macro Factor, if you want to know. I spent about 5-10 minutes planning what I was going to eat on the next day. And it was honestly mostly 3 eggs, 2 bits of toast, 2 bits of bacon medallions or sliced chicken or something for breakfast. Then I would literally go, that was about maybe 8 a.m. Then I would literally go until about 3 p.m. before lunch, because that's just worked for me. I went as long as possible between breakfast and lunch, had my lunch, which was mostly vegetable soup from Aldi and a packet of pre-cooked chicken. This filled me up massively. It's low in calories and it's very high in protein. So again, it worked. It's quick, it's easy, it's cheap. It works for me. You don't have to follow that, I'm just saying. And I'd either have that or like a chicken salad sandwich from Tesco with the carrot and hummus dip, and then like a diet drink or something, or a sugar-free Monster or something. Again, low in calorie, fairly filling, and then sort of fairly, well, medium protein. But the soup and the chicken was a game changer for me. Or I had, again from Aldi, it was a poke bowl, and then again just cooked chicken, pre-cooked chicken. Just again for the same reason, it's quick. It was easy. I could eat it on the go. It was easily trackable. I could just scan the barcode and then just basically copy and paste the same meals on the other days, and I could just swap and change between the two. And then in the evening, I'd either be at my parents' for dinner on Tuesday and Thursday, and myself, I just have my now famous poverty roast, which is if you haven't seen the video, go onto my Instagram. I go through exactly how I make this poverty roast and why it's so good. Very, very filling, lots of food, fairly low in calories, very high in protein, easy to make, quick, and very tasty. It's about 550 calories, about 50 grams of protein. And honestly, it sorted me out. And then I'd still allow myself some calories left over for a nice snack, like either a Whisper Gold, pack of Quavers, Marwams, like the balls, the little balls, or a tub of the Aldi low-calorie ice cream. That's the peanut ice cream. 305 calories per tub, by the way, which is amazing. And some Snacker Jacks or something. So you could still enjoy these foods. And I had all that in around the 1,800 calorie mark. And it hit my protein. It kept me full-ish. Yes, there was times where I was hungry, obviously, because if you're not hungry, you're probably not in a calorie deficit and you're not losing fat. So feeling hungry in a fat loss phase in a cut is completely normal. And, I would say if you're not hungry, then you're probably not in a calorie deficit. So that probably could be the reason why you're not losing body fat. Anyway, that works for me. I'm not saying you should eat that. I'm just saying that's what works for me. And I'm not a fussy eater. I can eat the same foods every day and it just doesn't bother me. Again, that's why I found it quite easy. In terms of my social life, I went out a little bit, not much. I went on a stag do to Lake District. I had my brother's wedding. I went out to my mates a couple of times. Went out for a curry for my mate's birthday. I still enjoyed myself a little bit. I'm not out every weekend, and that makes it easier. But I still did enjoy myself. It's just about planning. It was about planning ahead and just pre-tracking what you're going to have and thinking about what you're going to have, choosing the meals on the menu before you go out to reduce decision fatigue, which again is very normal when you diet. And that's another reason why I pre-track everything, to reduce decision fatigue. Because if you go into a day, if you're out and about at like 2 p.m. and you're starving hungry and you haven't decided in your head what you're going to eat, the chances of you going to a local bakery or whatever it is to get some delicious food because you're so hungry you don't really care what you eat is higher. So you'll end up consuming this high calorie delicious meal, and then that makes fat loss a lot harder. So yeah, my social life it was still there. It wasn't as obviously prominent as before, but I'm not out every weekend anyway. I've got I don't drink much. Again, another reason why I found it quite easy. I barely drink. I didn't drink much at all during this 4 months. Had a couple of cans of Guinness at the stag do. Had a glass of Prosecco at my brother's wedding. I kept it very, very minimum. And that helps massively. If you're trying to lose fat and you're still drinking booze on a weekly basis, then you're going to make it very hard for yourself and you're going to make it very frustrating and higher chance to give up because you're not seeing the results you want. So my advice is cut the booze out. If you can't cut the booze out, then that's an issue. That's something you need to speak to someone about, I'm afraid. So yeah, that's all I'll say on that. So that's food sort of covered, really. In terms of the training, because again, I had a couple of people ask me like what I did for training, what was my workout. And it's the same as before. It was just very, very basic. It was upper lower split. It was full body workouts, upper lower, basic movements, just your basic squat, hinge, push pull movements, nothing crazy. Some isolation stuff, arm curls, lateral raises, use some cables, dumbbells, just yeah, nothing out of the ordinary, nothing like can't think of the word. Nothing. No, it's gone. Can't think. But it was basic. It was basic movements. And the reason it worked is because I was consistent with it. I followed a program. I was kept accountable by my coach. I was checking in once a week. You know, I was doing everything I should be doing, taking the working sets close to failure. I was still trying to build muscle, still training hard, upper lower, week on week, every week, you know. The cardio side of things, I mean, yeah, okay, let's talk about volume. So volume, it was probably around 15 sets. I'd say around 15 sets per muscle group per week. So, you know, not a huge amount, maybe 15 to 18 muscle group sets per week per muscle group. Maybe more on some, maybe less. But it was around that number. I'm not going to go into like counting every single set. The most important thing was the consistency and still training hard. Cardio wise, I did about 1,000 calories per week. And that's not because I needed to burn off 1,000 calories because of my self-worth. It's just because it's just a way to measure. And I know that what you see on the screen is inaccurate on the cardio machine, but it's still a number to follow. And that's all I did it for. It's not because, I'm trying to burn off 200 calories because I ate 200 calories of chocolate. It's not that. It's just my aim was to hit 1,000 or burn or to have, my aim was to use. Try again. My aim was to do around 1,000 calories per week at the start, whatever cardio I wanted. There was no specific cardio I needed to do. It was anything I wanted. So it could be running, it could be cycling, cross training, swimming, whatever, as long as it's measured somehow. But I just chose to do the cross trainer because it was easy. It was low weight bearing, no impact, and easy to recover from, basically, and easy to stick to. I could go on my iPad. I could do some work. I could do get back to clients on WhatsApp. It was easy. It's just easy, you know. Spend 45 minutes on there, 3 times a week, easy. I did a bit of bike as well, but I didn't. I just found that a bit uncomfortable. So cross trainer works for me. It's just more comfortable. That got ramped up to about 2,000 after the stag do, because the stag do was around 4 weeks before the shoot, and I'd obviously eaten quite a lot, gone over my calories. So the cardio was ramped up. It was doubled for the last few weeks just to help me get back into that deficit, lose that last bit of body fat. So yeah, that's basically it. You know, I kept. It wasn't like nothing was perfect, because nothing ever is perfect when it comes to this, but it was consistent. It was what I did on average which determined the results. I wasn't perfect every day. There were some days I was pretty on point, but there was other days I wasn't, you know, but I was on average pretty damn good, pretty on track, hence how I lost about 11 kilos. So a little run through of how I made the fat loss journey easier, in my opinion. Like I said before, I pre-planned the meals, and that alone removes like 90% of sort of diet failure moments. If you plan the meals the night before or that morning, you have the day planned out. You just follow what you've planned, essentially, and you don't go off plan. Simple as that. I repeated the meals to reduce decisions. I ate the same few meals most days. Again, not because I had to, but because it made everything so much easier. I still gave myself unconditional permission to eat whatever I wanted. I never said that I can't have that. Oh, no, I'm cutting. I can't have that. I always said I could have that, but does it fit my plan? If it fitted my plan, then great. If I wanted it, I'd have it. But if it didn't fit my plan and I wanted it, I'd be like, no, I shouldn't really. Even though I could if I really wanted it, but it's sort of that alone, like it just removes the sort of guilt and weird obsession that can come with food. If you say you can't have certain foods, then you sort of sometimes end up wanting it more, and you become weirdly obsessed. And it's not good for your relationship with food, essentially. So I allowed myself to have whatever I wanted. I still had chocolate, I still had crisps, I still had ice cream. I just made sure it fitted within my daily or weekly calorie budget. I cut back massively on booze, didn't fully stop drinking, but I just made better choices. Said no more often, basically because I cared more about the result than the drink. I just didn't want to drink. There was a night I went out with my mates and I didn't drink. Yes, it was hard because it was the first time I've ever done that, but the goal was on the journey I was on was more important than me getting smashed. At that time. And it was like, I guess mainly it was my mind, the whole thing, my mindset. It was my mindset that made things work, or made the whole thing work. I don't want to sit here and be like, it was always motivating. I wasn't always motivated. Like a lot of the time I did not want to train. A lot of the time I did not want to go on the cross trainers to do cardio. And some of the time I didn't want to be hungry, but it was the discipline that overtook the motivation. And that's the thing. If you're always waiting for motivation, you're never going to get to where you want to be. Like discipline over motivation every single time. You need to build discipline. This whole journey helped with my discipline. You'd be surprised by how many people say, I'm just not feeling motivated. I need motivation. It's like, well, tough shit. You're going to get motivation and you're going to get demotivated. You'll get it. It comes and goes. It's not, you can't find it anywhere. You can't get it. It just happens. It's about discipline. It's about, you treating it like you're brushing your teeth every morning and night. It's a routine. It's a non-negotiable. You get up, you do your thing, you plan your food, you go for a workout, you plan your workouts, you plan your cardio, and you just get it done. No matter what else you've got going on, you get the non-negotiables done. If it means that much to you, you will get it done. If it doesn't mean much to you, then that's fine. But you won't get you probably won't get the results you want. You won't build the body, or you won't get into the condition you want. Because if it doesn't mean much to you, you probably won't do it. And again, the whole thing, it wasn't perfect. Because nothing is ever perfect. I was hungry. I had low energy. I didn't have much of a social life. But I didn't mind that, again, because the goal meant a lot to me, and I enjoyed the focus. I enjoyed the journey. I enjoyed I enjoyed working towards something. I enjoyed seeing the results. I enjoyed seeing how my body was changing, and I enjoyed the challenge. I actually quite miss it, weirdly. But yeah, I'll probably do it again at some point. But yeah, I mean, the fact is I stayed on course, I stayed on track because my why for why I was doing this was big enough, and it meant a lot to me. So once that was all done, it's not about just going back to what you were doing before. It's what happens after the diet, after the cut is very, very important. And this is to stop you from basically binging, and because you're going to be hungry, like your hunger hormones are all over the place. You're going to be hungry even if you have a big meal or two, or a day of eating a lot of food. You're still going to be hungry the day after, maybe for up to 2 weeks after. So it's really, really important to exit the diet, so stop the diet and have an exit strategy, basically, and that's called a reverse diet. So that's basically when you build your calories back up to just over maintenance, about sort of 10% over maintenance. It just sort of takes the edge off hunger. It allows you to eat more food while still having some control. It allows you to enjoy food. You can bring back the foods you were missing a bit more into your days. You can increase your social life a little bit. It just gives you that bit of life back that you were missing before. More food, more tasty food, pizzas, cakes, whatever you missed, chocolate, crisps. And it just takes the edge off hunger. Yes, you will be over your maintenance a little bit, but it doesn't matter. You're going to gain a bit of body fat, not much. You're going to gain mostly water and muscle glycogen. But that's not, it's not forever. It's a couple of weeks just over your maintenance, just to take the edge off. Still tracking your food, still planning, still having control, still having some control and structure over what you're eating. And it just stops you from binging and just eating whatever you see and whatever you want to then put everything back on again after a few months, and then that could cause a poor relationship with food. It can cause massive amount of fat gain again, which will then make you feel shit because you've just done all this hard work to then put on all this body fat again. So you need to have structure. You need to still have that level of accountability after your cut. So I went from about 1,800 calories to around 2,500, and that's my estimated maintenance. My coach actually gave me a bit more than 2,500. My budget is around 2,800, but I've been finding that I'm full around 2,500, and I'm happy with that. I'm happy with how lean I am. I'm happy with staying this lean for a bit. I'm not hungry. I'm full. I'm satisfied. I'm eating the nice foods I want again. And I'll be sort of hovering around that for the next 2 weeks. And what I'll probably do is stay around this level of leanness, this condition throughout summer. I want to stay light for my 10K run in Norwich. Run Norwich 10K, which I'll be training for soon. So I want to stay fairly light. Obviously, low in body fat helps you run better and more comfortably, obviously. So I'm going to stay lean. I'm going to stay around this sort of 2,500. I'll keep my training up, stay the same, upper, lower, same level of volume, same intensity. And that'll help me keep strong, keep my muscle, maybe build a little bit of muscle tissue, maybe. Probably not too much, but I'll keep the steps up around sort of 8 to 10,000 per day. Cardio, maybe a little bit. A couple of runs a week, maybe. But yeah, then I'll just stick on that track. And then after sort of September, after Run Norwich is up, I'll maybe move into a building phase and start building some more muscle again. And then, who knows, do it again. Do a photo shoot again next year. Not sure just yet, but that's likely where it's going to be heading, which is cool. It's exciting. So yeah, basically that's what I've done. That's how I did it, and that's what I'm doing now. But yeah, I think that the most important thing for me now is just the post diet sort of thing. You don't want to you don't want to continue with the deficit, because if you continue with that and you keep losing, well, you'll end up dying, because that's starvation. So going back to maintenance is very, very important. You won't put any body fat on. If you do, it'll be a tiny bit. It's not even worth worrying about. It's just about like staying aware of hunger, staying aware of the food you're eating. That's sort of half the battle. And just keeping some structure in place, still tracking a bit, still planning your meals, still training with purpose, that kind of thing. It's not about going back to normal. It's about sort of building a new normal that works better. And for me, that's just doing what I was doing before, but just planning, but tracking my but having more food, just a bit more calories in the day. So yeah, I guess a couple of closing thoughts. For you, you don't have to do, like, if you want to get lean, great, but do it for you. Don't do it for anyone else. This is your body, your life, your journey. You don't have to do a photo shoot, but you can if you want to get the final product of the pictures. It's good to do, just to have that focus. But if you want to do it, the goal has to mean something. It has to actually mean a lot for you to go through with it. Fat loss, it's not about suffering. It shouldn't be about suffering. It's about strategy and making it work for you and your lifestyle. So yeah, it shouldn't be something that is absolutely dreaded. If you do it correctly, if you do it right, it's not that bad. So like, if you are wanting to get into the best shape of your life, if you want to get really lean, photo shoot condition, whatever, and you're tired of just winging it and trying a bit of this, trying a bit of that, failing, going back to doing what you're doing before, going around in circles, getting frustrated. If you're not getting anywhere, let me know. You know where to find me: Instagram, email, Facebook maybe. And we'll sort out a proper plan for you, a bespoke plan to help you achieve the life-changing physique you want to achieve. All right, but yeah, I'll leave it there. A bit of a long one today, so hope you enjoyed it. Please give it a share if you can on your social media stories. That'd be much appreciated. Any comments, any questions you have, just let me know and I will get back to you. But once I get the pictures, I will put them on my social media, on Instagram. So yeah, feel free to head over there and have a look at them. I'm hoping by 23rd of May, hopefully they'll be done and up. So we'll see. Anyway, speak soon, guys. Take care and all the best.